So let's look at area of triangles in this video. The area of a triangle, I've got one triangle here, and we already learned the area of a rectangle. So let's look at that real quick. Let's just draw a rectangle. And let's make up some sides. Let's call this side 10 meters, and then this side we'll say looks like it's about 5 meters. Okay, and so the area of this, we said we just do 10 times 5, and that ends up being 50 meters squared. So 10 times 5, which is 50 meters squared. Okay, so the area of a triangle is really the same thing, except it's a part of a rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to draw a line straight over from here, just a little dotted line, and a line straight up from here. And what I made there, if I go all the way around it, is a rectangle. And this rectangle, the area would be 8 times 6. But that's not what we're asking you. I'm asking you, what's the area of the triangle? Well, if you notice, this triangle is exactly half of the rectangle. We've got one triangle here and one triangle here, and they're the same triangle. So the area of a triangle is base times height, but then divided by 2 because it's half. So the area of a triangle formula, we would say, is base times height divided by 2. So in this unit, you're going to learn a lot of area formulas and a lot of formulas in general. And then later in the year, you'll probably talk about volume and surface area, and you're going to have a lot of formulas there. It might be advantageous for you just to make a formula sheet. And so this would be one of the formulas on there, and then the area of a rectangle would also be one of the formulas on that on that formula sheet. Okay, so the problem is not all triangles are right triangles. But some of them will look like this, some might look like this, and we need to figure out what the area of each of these triangles are. So this triangle, and I'm talking about the overall triangle, so maybe what I'll do is I'll just change, we'll ungroup this, oops, then I'll just change this line so that it's dotted. Okay. So I want to know the area of this whole big triangle. And so it's the same formula. The area is still base times height. Oops. Just like a rectangle, but then we divide it by 2. So divided by 2. Okay? So we need to figure out what's the base and what's the height. Well, the base and the height, you're always looking for this little 90-degree symbol here. So the base and the height are the two lines that are perpendicular at that 90-degree symbol. So the base here would be 24, and the height would be 8. So we'd go 24 times 8, and then divided by 2. And that would be our area. So it ends up being 12 times 8, which is 96. So 96, and then we don't have any units on here, so we'll just put units squared. Units squared. All right. So that's the area of this triangle, and remember, we're just looking for this 90-degree symbol, and that tells us what the base and the height are. Okay, so I noticed the 90-degree symbol here. So what are the base and height on this one? It's a little bit more complicated than the previous one, but not too bad. The height is going to be 6. But when we're talking about this triangle, I want to know what's the area of this triangle. So this 3 is not involved with the area of this triangle. This 3 is not included with the triangle. So the height is 6 on this triangle from the tip straight down, and then the base is 5. So the area on this one is 6 times 5, and then divided by 2. So 15 units squared. All right, so that, in a nutshell, is area of triangles.